Professional sports are ruthless, cutthroat arenas where sentiment barely matters and money dictates everything. In this world, your worth is measured solely by your market value. You either drive the engine that generates revenue, or you're just along for the ride. For nearly 25 years, the WNBA operated like a league full of passengers. Teams ran a billion-dollar business that consistently lost money, surviving only thanks to NBA support, while a vocal group of veteran players cultivated a sense of untouchable entitlement, seeing themselves as global icons. Then came Caitlin Clark. She stepped onto the court, shattered viewership records, and injected billions into the sport almost overnight. Yet instead of gratitude, the veteran establishment tried to hijack the momentum she created. What's unfolding now goes beyond a labor dispute. It's a corporate meltdown in slow motion. The WNBA Players Association is threatening to derail the 2026 season, demanding guaranteed maximum contracts, free housing, and a staggering 50% of league revenue, essentially wielding unprecedented leverage over billionaire owners. But their strategy is faltering, and the very player they attempted to suppress, Clark, is exposing it. At Team USA's training camp, she has executed a masterstroke, without social media digs or petty fights, demonstrating that she is the sport's irreplaceable asset. The footage from camp is more than practice tape. It's a psychological statement, showing the league what true excellence looks like and exposing how small and toxic the union politics appear in comparison. Clark has shifted the power dynamic entirely, and now the WNBA faces a reckoning. It needs her to survive, but she doesn't need the league.
Kind of doing some drills here. Let's see them cook up for a little bit. Chelsea, no look to Caitlin. Side dribble. Main thing is they're enjoying themselves, man. I love it. Okay, Angel to Stu, easy work. It seems like Caitlin is hanging with Kelsey a lot. Paige always yelling. Paige yelling about anything these days.
There's no tension, no corporate stress weighing anyone down, just Caitlin Clark, Breanna Stewart, and the next wave of American basketball stars, laughing, competing, and yelling USA in unison. They're living at the peak of their athletic prime, playing the game they love as elite professionals who genuinely enjoy being on the court. Now contrast this with the dark, combative cloud hanging over the WNBA labor dispute. Veteran union leaders have manufactured a campaign of misery, attempting to paint themselves as oppressed victims in a world of billionaire owners, seeking media coverage fueled by anger, resentment, and constant threats of a work stoppage. Their tactics have poisoned the environment so thoroughly that even their own vice presidents are leaking letters to ESPN, begging for transparency. Into this chaos steps Clark, radiating pure, unfiltered joy at Team USA's training camp, completely dismantling the union's PR strategy. She sent a crystal-clear message to sponsors, networks, and team owners: I am the safe, premium, drama-free investment. While the WNBA appears chaotic and desperate, Clark shines as a consummate global superstar, proving that the toxicity in women's basketball isn't systemic. It's artificially created by a small faction of veteran players desperate to maintain control. The union had hoped to trap Clark in their labor war, leveraging her popularity to pressure owners, but she walked out the back door and stepped onto the biggest international stage on earth, rewriting the power dynamic entirely. From a corporate perspective, the union miscalculated the market value equation. In high-stakes negotiations, you cannot bluff a billionaire. You cannot threaten to walk away when the other side knows you have no alternative. Yet the WNBA veterans assumed they held independent market value, believing the public would tune in to watch their legacy brand of basketball without Clark. They tested this theory by creating the unrivaled 3-on-3 league, an entirely separate ecosystem meant to prove they could generate revenue without her. The result was a disaster. Ratings collapsed the moment the league launched, fans switched channels the moment number 22 wasn't on the floor, and network executives at TNT, counting on a Clark-driven wave, panicked. To make matters worse, cornerstone players like Aaliyah Boston suffered serious injuries in meaningless exhibition games, exposing the venture as both a financial and physical liability. The veterans played their trump card, and the market delivered a brutal verdict. Without Caitlin Clark, they are essentially worthless on a national broadcast. Now flip the script. Watch what happens when the true golden goose steps onto the floor.
Mind you, look at the teams while y'all looking too. Look, Angel knocking them down, dog. I know it's quick. Caitlin with the game winner. Caitlin with the game winner, dog. Got the stun on him. Come on, man.
Caitlin Clark hits the game winner. That single moment embodies the entire business model of professional women's basketball. It's the product that justifies billion-dollar television deals and represents a magnetic, generational talent commanding the attention of the global sports economy. WNBA owners Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert, Joe Tsai, Matt Ishbia are all watching Team USA footage and doing the math. When a billionaire sees Clark hitting a game winner in practice, instantly going viral, they aren't just seeing a player, they're seeing market capitalization, leverage, and an irreplaceable asset. If the WNBA Players Association follows through with its March 10th strike threat, the owners won't panic. They understand the hard truth. The only asset that truly matters is Caitlin Clark. Right now, she is completely insulated from the league's self-destruction. If the 2026 season is delayed or canceled, veteran players face total financial ruin. Paychecks vanish, relevance evaporates, leases they demanded the league cover could default, and legacies risk being forgotten. Meanwhile, Clark loses nothing. If the WNBA collapses, she can simply channel her enormous, fiercely loyal audience into the FIA World Cup qualifiers, broadcast on TNT Sports, the very network that abandoned the unrivaled league after realizing the veterans were a poor investment and redirected billions to secure Clark's international rights. The union is attempting high-stakes poker without chips, threatening billionaires while exposing themselves as a failed product without their rookie point guard is corporate delusion bordering on insanity. The unspoken truth the mainstream media avoids is clear. This strike isn't about protecting working-class athletes. Most rookies and their agents are begging for a deal. 80% of the league is unemployed, waiting to sign contracts. The strike is a weapon wielded by the veteran establishment to halt Clark's unstoppable rise. For decades, the old guard ruled a small, insular, and profitable kingdom. They controlled locker room hierarchies, demanded blind respect from rookies, and dictated the narrative. Then Clark arrived from Iowa, shattered viewership records, brought millions of new fans, secured massive endorsements from Nike and Gatorade, and rendered the veteran leadership culturally and financially irrelevant. They despise her, resent her popularity, and fear her second season. Fully healthy, fully adapted, poised to dominate entirely on her own terms. The union strike is a scorched earth attempt to steal a year of Clark's prime, silence new fans, and assert control. They are willing to jeopardize billion-dollar media deals, destroy union members' livelihoods, and ignite a financial apocalypse just to maintain dominance. Yet Clark executed the ultimate counterstrike, not with anger or aggression, but with quiet, unshakable humility, checkmating the old guard and proving that true power in women's basketball rests firmly in her hands.
Man, I think, this is every kid's dream. I think I wrote it down when I was in like 3rd grade. So I'm just excited about this opportunity. And I remember Kara Callan talking to us, like when me and Paige, and I know AB isn't here, but even I played with Ryan on the U19 team. Like on the junior national teams, there's only going to be like a couple of you that end up making it to make a senior debut. So whether that's the World Cup, whether the World Cup qualifier, whether that's, the Olympics, every single part of it and part of the journey is really special. So I know we're a ways away even from the World Cup and obviously a ways away from the Olympics, but this is still really exciting in its
Listen to the sheer, untouchable brilliance of that statement. Caitlin Clark calls this opportunity every kid's dream. She demonstrates deep respect for the platform, honors the journey, frames herself as a humble student of the game, and radiates absolute professionalism on the world's biggest stage. By taking this stance publicly, Clark is dismantling the last-ditch narrative of the WNBA veterans. The old guard wants to label her entitled, frame her fans as toxic, and portray themselves as noble keepers of basketball tradition, but Clark refuses to play the villain. She doesn't engage in petty mudslinging. Instead, She steps in front of international cameras and embodies a consummate, respectful professional. In doing so, she exposes the union for what it truly is: a chaotic, disorganized faction, petty, passive-aggressive, and actively sabotaging their own sport. By making her highly anticipated return with Team USA, Clark has completely bypassed the WNBA's control. The FIBA qualifiers are a massive global television event where she will play high-stakes, meaningful basketball in front of millions, surrounded by the world's best players, completely free from the toxic politics, jealousy, and petty grudges of the WNBA Players Association. Meanwhile, the league sits metaphorically with a thermal detonator as veteran leadership threatens to press the button on March 10th. They believe that threatening destruction can force billionaires to surrender, but the owners, including Adam Silver and Kathy Engelbert, aren't focused on the veterans. They are watching Clark. She is entirely outside the blast zone, poised to dominate the global stage, expand her brand, and generate hundreds of millions for the networks smart enough to follow her. If the WNBA forces a lockout, the veterans won't emerge as heroes defending labor rights. They will become the architects of their own spectacular downfall. They risk alienating a new fan base, erasing league momentum, and forcing owners to restructure the business, stripping players of leverage forever. When the smoke clears, Clark will remain the sport's ultimate draw, while the bitter veterans who try to hold her back will be left unemployed, realizing they just committed one of the most humiliating acts of financial self-destruction in professional sports history. The media smokescreen has vanished, and the manufactured illusion of a veteran sisterhood is shattered. Sports business is cold and absolute. You either move the financial needle and generate revenue, or you are crushed by the corporate machine. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is the WNBA union risking a lockout purely out of jealousy over Caitlin Clark's dominance? Will the veteran players follow through and destroy themselves financially, or will billionaire owners crush them at the deadline? And how massive will the global ratings be for Clark's Team USA debut while the WNBA burns in the background? If you want the unapologetic, unfiltered truth about the ruthless business of sports, the high-stakes leverage battles in corporate boardrooms, and the stories mainstream media refuses to cover, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video everywhere. We don't do sanitized PR narratives here. We expose the raw, bloody reality lurking in the shadows. Stay sharp. I'll see you in the next one.